Can I get some dim levels from you?
Yeah, got some stuff and some more stuff. And then a short little thing that is horror themed. And then we'll be donezo. Just like the Packers season is donezo.
Oh.
Because Aaron Rodgers is probably out for the year.
Oh, shit. Really? What happened?
He threw a ball and then this fucker Anthony Barr, it wasn't a late hit, but he definitely, like, after a quarterback throws the ball, you're not supposed to grab him and slam him into the ground, but he definitely, like, the ball was clearly out, and he, like, grabbed him and, like, threw him into the ground. And
Oh, shit.
Collarbone snapped.
Damn.
Yeah, it's really upsetting.
Welcome to Three Wise Radio, the podcast where we talk about movies, TV, video games, the internet, cartoons, comic books, and just about everything else media related. My name is Garret Welker. Joining me today is Sam Pixley.
Joining you every day.
Joining me every day.
Is me.
Yeah.
So it's pretty consistent, I'd say.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
It's later than we usually record these.
It is. Just kind of had busy work schedules for the two of us, so.
Because we're both upscale businessmen, leading profitable businessman lives.
I mean, I don't really lead a businessman life.
Me neither.
I lead that playboy millionaire philanthropist life.
Oh,
the billionaire
gotcha.
life. Sorry.
I get to wear shorts to work, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Chris Pratt wears shorts to work in Jurassic Park, I think.
If he doesn't, he should.
Or he could, and it'd be
could.
totally fine. Yeah. So that's that. We just had our Friday the 13th in October. Spooky.
Super spoopy.
Were you spooked?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. I watched Nightmare Before Christmas.
There you go.
So I was
There you
definitely in the mood for all things spooky. So I'm going to do some standard stuff. Do some headlines,
right.
Check on things, talk some trailers. And then, do you like BuzzFeed?
Not particularly.
Me neither. So in order to honor BuzzFeed, I created my own fun little thing that we're going to do a little later. So just to tease you a little bit.
Alrighty.
Nothing like showing your resentment towards something by crafting something you're doing around what they do. Anywho, Garrett, how do you like Pacific Rim?
Yeah. Like the original one or the new one?
Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
You excited for the sequel?
I am.
How do you feel about the Pacific Rim universe? Stephen DeKnight, the director of the Pacific Rim, Uprising, the new one, was talking about in an interview with The Nerdist. He was talking about how we're super stoked about it. We're definitely going to get some more comics. The second movie has always been planned as a launching pad for an extended universe, as a Star Wars, Star Trek style franchise.
Huh. Oh.
Dreams come true?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't know. I always thought that the cool thing about Pacific Rim was that it was like they had. I don't know. Pacific. That just doesn't make sense to me. Pacific Rim has always seemed like it's just contained on Earth. The cool thing about Star Wars and Star Trek is that it's other worlds and like other planets and stuff that they can go to. Yeah. I don't think that's in the humans.
Well, like the Rim is from another dimension, so there's those, or from space or something. So there's an interesting like idea there of like what else is going on in the world, but I think my issue with it was that I enjoyed the simplicity of Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Like it was just a movie that I could watch and was like, great. It didn't need to overcomplicate thing with how does this tie into this and oh man, but what about you got to read these comics to get in with this? It was just like, this is a fun movie that's got big robots fighting big aliens.
Yeah.
So the idea of like, oh man, we're going to craft something huge. If Uprising is good, then I'd be kind of excited for it. But just the idea of like seeing the quotes of being like, oh man, you can do anything with it. You can go spin-offs, you can go one-offs, you can just like,
You can make the movie first and see how that does.
We are putting the cart in front of the ox or the mule or
I think it's a horse.
Whatever, in front of the animal that we use to move it.
It.
Yes, the pulling mechanism is in the rear.
Yeah.
So let's wait. Let's let that horse get in front of that cart.
All right.
Next up, do you remember last week about how lovable Mark Ruffalo it was?
Yeah.
Because he made a little mistake. Oops. Just made a little mistake and accidentally posted something he probably wasn't going to post. Mark Ruffalo is now apparently just the dum-dum of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because this time, he Facebook Lived. Sorry, was it not Facebook Live? There's so many things that you can do for social media now. But I believe, yes, it was Facebook Living. He was streaming himself at the red carpet premiere for Thor Ragnarok, put his phone in his pocket, and accidentally streamed the first 15 minutes, at least audio-wise, of the movie. Before it was not immediately, because it took 15 fucking minutes for somebody to be like, oh yeah, turn that off.
Wow.
How do you do that?
How do you pocket dial someone?
No, he did like a live stream of like, hey, we're here getting ready for the premiere. How exciting is this? Oh, the movie's starting. Boop. Let me not turn it off.
I don't know.
I'm quite certain that you know how to turn it off, and it's not like this. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that we were watching the movie now. Let me just quick shelf this really quick. So it all just seems artificial, but also it's a dumb marketing. So we're gonna play 15 minutes of audio, and that's gonna get people really hyped about this movie.
I mean, it's got people talking about the movie, doesn't it?
I bet, probably. I mean, probably not. I'm not even happy that I'm talking about it. I just am annoyed at if this is a tactic, it bothers me that it is. So I hope it isn't.
You're just hoping for the best.
I'm really excited for the movie already. I just
forgetful.
If Mark Ruffalo is this dumb, then I'm also concerned for his health. So it's like this is a lose-lose situation for me.
All right.
Speaking of Mark Ruffalo, you know how we've always, where's the Hulk movie? Are we getting a Hulk movie? No. And they say, no, we're not getting a Hulk movie. But apparently there is a mini trilogy that's about to take off with Thor Ragnarok. Mark Ruffalo was recently talking in an interview between him and the Kevster, talking about how Bruce Banner is essentially taking part in a 3-part growth arc between this movie and the 2 Avengers movies. And that his trilogy would be like a little micro trilogy within these movies.
Interesting.
Essentially, so the quote is, anything's possible. It is something when we were talking to Mark about this movie and trying to get him excited and getting him to agree to be in this movie. I did pitch to him the potential sort of a 3-movie arc for the character starting with this, and it's what we ended up doing. Now, I won't say where it goes, but it's a continuing evolution of the relationship between Banner and Hulk. And as you see it, as a side of it, as you see it start to take place in this movie, there's a great line in the movie, spoilers, where Banner says, it's different this time. It usually feels like we both have our hands on the wheel, but this time he was driving and I was locked in the trunk. His arc will start to take a look at resolving that. Which again still feels like Planet Hulk or like World War Hulk, but that just doesn't seem like you wouldn't do World War Hulk after you do Thanos. It just doesn't seem to fit. So who knows? It could also just be a company trying to be like, hey, can we get Hulk to buy into 3 movies? Let's tell him that we're going to do something special with his character.
And then maybe do it.
Because it doesn't matter as long as you sign on.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the toughest decision of your life, Garrett?
Hit me, Sam.
What are you more excited about?
Oh, shit.
Deadpool has just wrapped, as has Dark Phoenix. X-Men Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix set to premiere November 2nd. Deadpool set to premiere June 1st.
Wait, November 2nd of
this year? Next year.
Holy
next
shit.
year. I couldn't contain my excitement if Dark Phoenix was coming out this year. Which one of those excites you more?
Deadpool.
Obviously Deadpool, yes. Is there anything about Dark Phoenix that excites you?
Nope.
Nothing?
No.
Okay. Me neither.
I mean, I didn't really fall in love with the characters in the last one. And, like, the only one that I would really care for is McAvoy. And, like, I don't know. He just didn't seem like... I don't know. I don't think he's enough for me to come back for that. You know? Like, I'll see it, obviously, but, like, to come back and be excited for it, you know?
I just don't see his, like, I don't see any more arc coming from their characters.
Yeah. Especially because they're making this, like, a 10-year jump still, but then it's, like, the characters the same age. They look exactly the same.
That part I'm kind of fine. That part doesn't bother me so much as it's just the idea of, yes, the jumps were cool for a while, but now we're hitting the point where it's like 30. There's been 30 years almost of growth, and what has taken place in these time frames. Because the last jump, it seemed like there wasn't much that had taken place. Like, it was like, oh, everything fell apart. Mm-hmm. So unless these 10 years that have happened, like the Xavier School has really blossomed and you get to see something interesting there, then maybe. So maybe it's something that actually might be decent because we're not expecting anything because the bar is set so low that it might be good. But yeah, I just think there's too much else out there to dictate anything being too worried about it. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, man, I did not do a good job of going through these in any specific order. One more bit of Hulk news. Not Hulk news so much as this is kind of on a different level, which you could go a little more into. So apparently, fans are people who are now looking for leaks and trying to figure out what happens in movies before they actually happen, have started to dictate how movies are ending. The original Avengers Age of Ultron did have Hulk flying into space, a scene where he's flying into space. But then once they had seen that there were leaks saying that people already knew that was going to happen, and they started thinking like, okay, Planet Hulk. Joss Whedon had to go in and reshoot, or not reshoot, but change it up and cut that scene up to just show Hulk flying into space. Specifically... because we can't do that because he's not going into space and people are going to think we're doing Planet Hulk because Umberto has some big hot scoop that we're doing Planet Hulk, whoever Umberto is, whoever's got the scoop. And so we can't do it. So, well, what are we going to do? We don't know what we're going to do. So we have to go back, take a look at the movie and figure it out, find a way to fix things. We'll just make the sky blue and say he's in Earth's atmosphere.
Huh.
Not like a huge change, but enough to kind of give a little bit of caution in my mind that if this is becoming fan base is starting to dictate, it's maybe not starting on a regular scale, but has the kind of pull that when you do have these big pictures with like these universes or whatever, which is starting to become my least favorite word, just the hype train of what could potentially be something may dictate them doing things differently because they have to respond with a non-finished product.
Yeah. Damn. I don't know. I think I feel like the fans need to just like chill out. Like you don't need to see the movie that bad. Like, I don't know.
I think it's just a matter of I'd be interested to sit down in a room where people actually have to say like, okay, how much are these scoops actually upsetting things, and are we at a point where we actually have to be worried what fans think?
Yeah.
So if I mean, yes, you want the fans to be happy, but if say you tease something that doesn't come to fruition, like in the first Iron Man, like he had Captain America's shield like just sitting on his desk.
Yeah.
And nobody gave a shit. People were like, oh, that's Iron Man. That's Captain America's shield. Cool.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I think if you did that, people would be like, "Oh, Winter Soldier Part 2 confirmed."
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would that be in there? Because if there has to be a reason for that to be in there. So it almost takes some of like the innocence and like not necessarily everything has to be a tease to something bigger. You can't have like, we're going to have him fly off into space and who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You can have Easter eggs, but now they feel like they all have to have a bigger purpose.
Yeah.
Like remember the scene at the end of Doctor Strange, where like Thor shows up and is like, "Hey, I need some help." So now I think people are going to be pissed if the Sorcerer Supreme doesn't show up in like Thor Ragnarok and like helps that we don't get like a 15-minute segment or short or something.
Yeah.
They're like almost that the expectation of like, I guess the word is inclusivity almost.
Yeah.
Is so high that it becomes almost problematic from a storytelling aspect.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's a little nerve-wracking.
Well, at least we're not the executives that have to deal with that.
Well, yeah. It would also probably be a bit of fun, which is why I'm guessing they haven't really said it. Actually, I'm assuming that the fourth, whatever it is, fourth phase 4 probably hasn't been talked about because events from Avengers will obviously usher in whatever that is. But I kind of like that you don't really know anything about it.
Yeah.
Makes me happy.
All right.
Ready for some trailer trash?
Yeah.
We'll start with the biggest one. Star Wars trailer. Did you watch it?
I did.
I didn't.
All right.
Because Rand Johnson, or however you pronounce his name, said not to.
All right.
That was the first time I've ever seen a director be like, "You shouldn't watch this trailer." It's like, okay, wow. All right,
yeah.
I won't.
Because didn't he say like the trailer kind of like spoiled things? He didn't really. I don't think he even saw it until like the day it released.
Kind of like it put things in a different light and like kind of like skewed things a bit.
Yeah.
But that was the first time. Yeah, first time I'd ever seen somebody like actively. I assume he got a letter, like a strongly worded letter. It's like, hey, don't tell people not to watch this. We care a lot about however many YouTube immediate views we get in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Shut up. I won't ask you to tell me about it, but what did you like? What did you think?
I liked it. I can see, without knowing the story, I can see how it would have maybe revealed too much, or like kind of led you to believe about the story too much.
Is Yoda in it?
No.
Damn it! Roll the dice.
I mean, like it had some really cool shots and stuff that they used.
Well, sure, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
do you feel like you wish you hadn't watched it, knowing that there's cool people out there like me who haven't watched it?
No, just because I was kind of getting an itch. I was like, I needed some more, just kind of like hold me over, and it did the job. So, is doing the job.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Was it come out November? December?
Yeah, pretty sure.
It's early December, or
yeah, it's like first or second week of December.
I should know that, but I don't. So we'll move on. We just both watched the trailer for a fun comedy called Blockers.
Yes.
With a cool picture of a rooster in front of it.
Yes.
And a cock. And cock blockers. New comedy starring Leslie Mann, who is in all of the Judd Apatow movies, because I believe they're married. Are they? I think they are.
I think so.
Our boy John Cena. And Ike Barinholtz, who's actually a hilarious guy. Essentially playing 3 people that have young children. They grow up, and their young children grow up together, and as such, their friendship blossoms until eventually all of their little daughters turn 17 or 18 or however they need to be for the sake of this movie for their senior prom. Mm-hmm. And they find out that the girls have a pact to all have lose their virginity on prom night. And so they all decide to team up and become an action team that stops their daughters from all having sex on their prom night.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that? Garrett, we watched it like 2 minutes ago.
The trailer was hilarious. I loved it. I totally would love to see this movie.
I liked it. I think my issue, there was definitely some things of like, especially with Leslie, that were just there's some comedic elements where we're just now plugging the same jokes into different like scenes of movies.
Yeah.
Like some of that stuff was very like felt plug and play of those jokes. But John Cena is just so electric in all of it. He's just because he's just physically so bizarre looking. Like he's such an interesting specimen. Just like The Rock is big and jacked, but he's always wearing tight clothes and he's always really cut. Whereas John Cena's a little more inflated, like almost inflated.
Yeah.
Like he looks like a blow up doll of himself. And they never force him to wear tight clothes. He's usually almost always wearing baggy clothes because that's kind of what he does whenever he's in the ring, when he's wrestling.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like a nerdy dad with like a cell phone clip on his pocket, on his.
I didn't even see that.
Oh yeah, no, it was the whole time because he starts getting like anxious and like grabbing for it when he wants to call his daughter. And Ike Barinholtz just looks very funny and as usual, almost always confused as to what's going on in all of his movies.
Yeah.
So I wasn't amazed by it, but the idea of a potential pairing between those two guys excites me.
Yeah.
So I'm on board.
We'll check it out.
Absolutely.
Check it out.
Other trailers, we got part 2, or not part 2, I guess, but the second Black Panther trailer. Did you watch it?
I did.
What'd you think?
I enjoyed this. Did you watch it?
I did.
Okay.
I liked it except for one thing I did not care so much for.
Being
Black Panther versus
Black Panther.
Black Panther with gold.
Yeah, I also didn't like that. Because apparently the character in the comics takes over the mantle at one point. I don't know if it's like as an evil Black Panther or not, but he is Black Panther at one point.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense. I get why they did it, but it literally just looks like Black Panther versus Black Panther, and it's like
Gold Black Panther versus silver Black Panther.
Wasn't a big complaint that the characters were just copycat villains, like
yeah,
or like anti versions of the characters, like
yeah, either that or that they just went crazy in the third act for no reason.
Yeah.
The only reason that I think I have a problem with it is that we have such a beautiful looking world that when you kind of put together the final villain, and he's looked really cool throughout everything, like he's doing like what looks like this like jailbreak for Ulysses Claw, and he's wearing like this cool tribal mask and things like that. But then when it comes down to the final fight, that creativity just kind of becomes like, oh, I'm also Black Panther.
Yeah.
I guess it's not lazy as much as I would just like to see something different, but there's also so much else going on that probably won't be a problem for me.
Yeah.
I was just a little disappointed to see it come together like that, but I also don't know enough about Black Panther's character to really give a hoot either way.
Yeah.
Thought his accent was a little rocky for a second there in one scene, but no, all in all, still super stoked for.
Oh yeah, this is like
for these almost like outlier Marvel movies. Like Thor Ragnarok looks really good. This looks really good.
It's gonna be great.
I like it.
It's gonna be great.
And I personally saved what I thought was the best for last. New Mutants.
Ooh.
They were not kidding. That is just a straight up Marvel
horror.
X-Men horror movie. It appears to be. You don't really get any idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
But essentially you've got, and I'm not even sure which of the mutants are in there. Off the top of my head, I think Magic is supposed to be in there.
Yeah, so it's got Magic,
played by the girl from Split, Anya Taylor-Joy, something like that.
It's got Maisie Williams as Wolfsbane.
Right, who turns to a werewolf, but we did not see that, or at least a wolf-like
creature
thing.
Yeah. You got Charlie Heaton as Cannonball.
Okay,
he's the older brother from Stranger Things.
Right. Okay. Right. He has the power to just like charge his body, right? And like
propel.
Like he it's like kinetic energy.
Yeah, it's kinetic energy, and he's invulnerable while he's.
Oh, of course you are
in motion like
Otherwise,
that.
it's terrible. Otherwise you're terrible power. You're just gonna kill yourself immediately.
I don't remember the actor's name, but you got Sunspot. You've got Mirage, Danny Moonstar. That's the.
So, but we don't actually see powers happening in this, right?
Not on this one,
not a lot, but just a lot of like random shit going on, which I like the idea. A lot of kind of the mystery of like what happened to the X-Men. Are we at a point now where it's just like let's finally just clean slate it, or even more exciting,
Just separate.
Just like get them out of there. Be like, yep, they were a thing that happened one time, but they're not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
And now we've just got mutants that are in this like insane asylum where there's like things coming out of the walls and an overdone another brick in the wall song. Just like it sounded kind of cool in the beginning, and I was like, okay, the louder you make this, the more upset I am that it's actually in the trailer because it's just a little overdone. But I thought it looked really cool. I was just impressed that felt like for the first time in a while that when somebody said like, yeah, we're doing something really different, that the first trailer showed like this looks really different.
Yeah.
I was super impressed. The cast looks pretty solid. I really like that Anya Taylor-Joy lady. I don't think that's how you spell your name.
It is.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it is. But she's been great in everything that I've seen her in. So, top marks. That was my most exciting thing of the week, personally. It piqued my interest.
It's so good. Do you think you would be as interested if it wasn't a Marvel movie?
If it was just like,
hey, this is a horror movie, and it didn't give you any context like it did. It was just like,
not as much because I'd need something to go off of. Like visually, it looked good, but it's not that difficult to visually make a horror movie look good. That's why you can do them so cheaply, because you don't have to have like A-list actors to do it. And sets, you make them look pretty drab and scary and lots of grays, and so it's not the hardest thing in the world to do. It's why they're so cheap. I would have needed something else to drive me, whereas this has just like the little sprinkle of like, oh, by the way, all these people are mutants.
ooh, really?
Like just to be like, okay, what's going on? Because there's got to be something interesting that they're keeping.
Okay.
So for that, I'm excited. Yeah.
I'm excited.
All right, ready for BuzzFeed?
Yes.
When we come back.
And over here, we shall now run experiments on the Three-Wise Radio.
All right. In honor of Friday the 13th, as well as horror and Halloween and all those fun things coming up, I decided to create my own BuzzFeed quiz. You know those fun quizzes that are like, what Mexican food are you?
Yes.
Which is, I don't take them, but I see them and it frustrates me. You ever taken one?
Yes.
Yes? What kind of Mexican food are you?
Quesadilla.
Are you?
I don't know.
That's amazing.
I don't know. I took a what Barbie doll are you?
Oh.
It was a
Malibu? The coveted Malibu?
No, it was not Malibu Barbie. It was like travel agent Barbie or something.
Travel agent Barbie?
Yeah, flight attendant Barbie or whatever it is.
All right. Well, anywho. God, I hate that so much. Anywho, I decided to do my own version of it called Which Slasher Psycho Mass Murderer Are You?
Oh.
So,
okay.
We're going to be going between... We're going to find out who you are, Garrett. If you are Freddy, Jason, or Michael Myers.
All right.
Now, just to get a preface of this, how familiar are you with these three characters, with these movies in general?
I saw like the last 5 minutes of the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow.
I've seen none of the Halloween movies.
Perfect.
And then I saw a little bit of which Friday the 13th was the one in space?
Jason X.
I saw a little bit of Jason X.
Great.
That's it.
Great. Well, that's all you need to see. And actually, this works out perfectly well. This is kind of what I was banking on, because now I just get to get your actual opinion on what you think these are.
Okay.
And so I'll be asking you the questions, and when you answer, I then want you to guess which ones belong to which character.
Okay.
And Garrett, if you get enough correct, if you get, let's see, there's 18 of them in total. If you get 12 of them correct, you get a special prize.
All right.
You ready?
Yes.
All right, Garrett, question number 1. What first drove you off the deep end? Was it A, my dumb sister was supposed to be watching me, but instead she was having sex with her boyfriend, so I killed her? B, oh yeah, this is going to get a little This is going to get a little funky.
All right.
B, my mom was a nun that accidentally got locked away with 100 maniacs in an insane asylum, and one of them was my dad. Then she died, and my adopted dad was very abusive towards me. Or C, only bad thing happened to me was my mom brought me to work one damn time, and everything went downhill from there. What are you?
I am C.
Your mom brought you to work one damn time?
Yep.
Okay.
Everything went downhill from there. In order, I'm going to say Jason, Freddy, Michael.
Close.
Ooh.
So you got Freddy right,
Okay.
but Jason and Michael are switched. Michael Myers first started rampaging and killing people because he did see his sister having sex when she was supposed to be babysitting him. As you'll see here, classic thing, don't have sex in front of these people. It's usually a no-no. But it was Jason whose mom worked at Camp Crystal Lake, and unfortunately, one day she just could not find a sitter, brought him in for one day, and it only took one day for all the kids to start picking on him because he was deformed. And then, of course, they threw him into the lake. And why couldn't the counselors save him? Because they were all out having sex in the woods. So there we go. We are well on our way. One down, 5 to go, Garrett. And you are 1 for 2, or 1 for 3.
Yeah.
All righty. Ready for your next question?
Yes.
Again, what kind of slasher are you, Garrett? How long does it usually take you to get ready to work after a tragedy? Oh, I usually just hang out and let my mom take care of everything. I'll wait about 20 years in a shack until she's done. Then I'll step in.
Is that 2 separate answers? Or
Nope, that's one.
That's one. Okay.
B, I'll spend 15 years in a sane asylum. That's all I need to get in the right headspace. Or C, I'll just wait it out. I'll wait until the people I hate have kids, then I'll get down to business.
Ooh.
I can give you those one more time if you need them.
Ooh.
Keep in mind, this is you. If you were going to go on a murdering rampage,
I think I'll go again with C.
see, you'd wait until the people who wronged you have kids and then you'd start attacking?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say
And who do you think that is?
that one's Freddy.
Correct.
Okay. And then it's Jason and Michael for A and B.
Yep, you got it. 3 for 3. Bravo, Garrett. Alrighty, and those are all pretty self-explanatory. In the first Friday the 13th, it was actually Jason, who was actually originally supposed to be named Josh.
I'm glad they changed
Josh Voorhees here.
It just doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't. Well, it also helps that for 30 years it's been Jason, so you could say anything. Morty Voorhees, or anything, and it wouldn't sound good.
I just feel like a one-syllable name isn't really, like, threatening.
Yeah, I mean, tell that to Mike Myers.
But his name's Michael.
Yeah, but everybody calls him Mike Myers, so they add that extra syllable anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, his mom was the original culprit, and actually, he has a more interesting kind of like growth plan. And it's not really a growth plan, but it's not an arc either. But he originally was just a guy. He just survived.
Yeah.
And was just like in the woods for 20 years as just a person. It wasn't until like later in the series that he actually like died and became like this mutant zombie beast thing. So actually an interesting trajectory there.
Okay.
And then, yeah, Michael Myers spent 15 years in an insane asylum until one Halloween he was just like, all right, time to go. So there we go. Number 3. Oof, it's getting chilly out. What should you grab before you head outside? A, it's sweater weather. Just going to grab my sweater. B, any old jumpsuit'll do. Or C, crap, I left my heavy jacket out in the rain. Oh, well, it still fits.
Me personally, if it's cold, I'm just going to put a sweater on.
You're just going to do sweater weather?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see where this is going.
Yes, what do these people wear, Garrett? They can't all be gems.
No, it's Freddy, Michael, Jason.
That is correct.
Okay.
Congratulations, 3 out of 3. You're well on your way. I can't wait to tell you what the prize is. If you get there, you're getting there. Here's one that you will not know. Oh, man. Just did a lot of killing. Time for a vacay. Are you going to A, We're going to the Big Apple. And you know what? I'm thinking Manhattan. B, California. Or C, any dream vacation will do. And that's clever writing.
I'm going to New York.
You're going to New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that one was Jason, wasn't it?
It's up to you.
Jason, Freddie, Michael.
Jason, Freddie, really? Any dream vacation will do? He's in the dream world. But yes, that first one was Jason from the classic Jason Takes Manhattan, where he just gets on a boat with a bunch of youths and they eventually line up in Manhattan. And I think we've actually talked about that before, how that's actually a really clever idea because instead of just being in the woods, you're in Manhattan that's so populated, but no one gives a fuck about other people. So it's like, this guy's chasing me. And you're like, shut up, creep. But then there really is a guy chasing after you. Pretty compelling stuff. The Michael Myers is from when he tracks down his sister Lori in Halloween H2O in a preparatory academy. So that one was a bit of a stretch because he usually doesn't leave. He doesn't get too far from his original hometown. And then Freddy's never really gone outside of Elm Street because he loses a lot of his powers.
Gotcha.
All right, so you got 1 out of 3. We're slipping back on that one, Garrett. Ready to go again? 2 more.
All right.
Here we go. Who's your favorite celebrity?
Shit.
Donald Pleasance, more of an old school kind of guy. Johnny Depp or Kevin Bacon?
Kevin Bacon, hands down.
Kevin Bacon, hands down. Okay.
Yep. Donald Pleasance. Who is that?
It's just an old guy.
Isn't that the guy that was in Clockwork Orange?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sounds like it. Kevin Bacon wasn't in Clockwork Orange.
No, he wasn't. I'm going to say... shit. I'm getting all of them.
Johnny Depp to this day.
Johnny Depp
does not admit that he was in... Does not like to talk about the fact that he was in this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I know for a fact that Johnny Depp is Nightmare on Elm Street.
Correct.
Bing, 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 bing. And now what I do know about the other 2 slashers is like mixing together, so I'm just like, oh shit, which one's which?
Let me give you a little hint.
Okay.
Does Kevin Bacon seem more like a psychiatrist or a cool camp counselor?
All right. Fair enough. Kevin Bacon is Jason.
That is correct.
And then Michael is Donald Pleasance.
Donald Pleasance was his old psychiatrist, and he was actually for them that was a big get. Like he took a lot of their money. He's the older guy. He's in a lot of stuff in the 80s and before that, so much so that he had to get top billing.
Oh wow.
For that. But again, the Halloween was a very small project, very small budget. Alrighty. These are interesting results. Alrighty, you ready for the final question?
Yes.
In the What Kind of Slasher Are You BuzzFeed article?
Yes.
What are you most afraid of? A, sex. B, being forgotten. Or C, family reunions. Ooh, just say sex.
No. Do you want me to say sex for the comedic effect?
No.
Or for the actual answer?
I just want you to be honest with me, Garrett. That's all I've ever wanted.
I'm going to say family reunions.
Family reunions, okay. And who's that?
That one's Jason.
Sorry, it's not.
Shit.
It's Michael. You could stretch that he doesn't like family reunions, but he does love his mom. Whereas Michael Myers actively goes out of his way to kill his entire family. Like, that's his thing.
Okay.
Like, I gotta kill all the ladies that are in my family. Jason is afraid of sex because he clearly is not having any of it. And will actively kill anybody that's having any kind of sexual act.
Because earlier when you said it, we were talking about Michael killing his sister.
That was a red herring. He's not a fan. Not his least favorite thing in the world, but not a fan.
All right.
And then, of course, Freddy, because if he's forgotten, he loses his powers. All right, let me tally up and see if you actually got the bonus round.
All right. Oh, bonus round, yes.
It's not a bonus round. It's the prize.
Oh.
I meant to say the prize. So, after calculating... Garrett, you are the least like Michael Myers.
Okay.
But you are the most like number one on every chart for highest kill total in the history of slasher movies and in movies in general for the most part. Jason Voorhees. Congratulations, Garrett. How does it feel to be an undead zombie killing machine whose weapon of choice is a machete, but he'll really make do with just about anything?
Feels pretty good, Sam.
You feel like you do resonate with that?
Yeah.
And would you like to go into more detail about that as I call a psychiatrist to come speak with you?
No. Psychiatrist is Michael Myers. I don't need a psychiatrist.
Yeah, it didn't work out for him, though. He killed him. How many did I say you'd have to get right?
12.
3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. You did it.
Did I?
Just
Did I
by the
actually do
hair on your chinny chin chin. And do you know what your gift is? What your prize is?
No, I don't. What is it?
You and I get to go see Geostorm next week.
I knew it was going to be something Geostorm related. I was like, oh, what is it?
Not only that, but I will be buying your ticket to see Geostorm next week. I signed up to get early passes, and I was going to print them out and give them to you, early passes for this week, so that we could see it 2 days before anyone else, but they sold out.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's Geostorm, man.
Wow.
It's the Gerard Butler power. We've been talking about it. Everybody's hyped. So thank you so much for going down this road with me. And next up, we'll be headed to the skies for Geostorm. It's delicious. It's too delicious. Get out of here. Piquing your interest. Bam.
Alrighty, it's the end of the show, so it's time for Piquing Your Interest, where we talk about what's piquing our interest. I'll go first.
It's the most defeated you've ever sounded.
It's because I'm nasally. I'm sick right now, so I'm just like, I was actually going to try and like throw it and be like, Sam, you go.
I'll do it.
No.
Damn. No, I'm impersonating you. I will not do it. I'll absolutely not go first.
So what was piquing my interest has turned out to be a tragic thing. So we went back and did a little editing, and I guess what's piquing my interest now is Etsy. I've found out a lot of really cool Etsy shops recently. So I'm just slowly making a nice little Christmas list of like, hey, I want this stuff. I want this stuff.
Can guys be on Etsy?
Huh?
Is Etsy pro guy?
I didn't know.
I don't know what Etsy is.
It's Etsy is just
It's like
it's a place for like artists and stuff to like sell their stuff without like, I assume it's without like getting gouged by like bigger merchandisers or just whatever.
so it's not Pinterest.
Correct. Guys can get on Pinterest though too.
Guys can get on Pinterest, but I've been on Pinterest and
It's not geared
tricky
towards
it's tricky to like find something that I would actually like
be able to utilize it for. Yeah.
You have to dig pretty freaking deep.
No, Etsy is just like it's a place for artists to like especially if they do like I see a lot of like handmade jewelry, a lot of hand painted stuff. It's a place for artists to sell their stuff, like a central hub for that. You can buy stuff there. It's really cool. So,
all right, right on.
There's that.
Right on. Piquing my interest at long last on Friday the 13th, Evil Within 2 came out. Very, very excited that actually came out. I'm picking it up tomorrow. The first game was not perfect, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a nice dive back into kind of a Resident Evil 4 style horror mixed with a little bit of action, but not overdone, the way Resident Evil had kind of slipped for a while. Mm-hmm. And we didn't know if they were going to make a second one, and then they announced it either late last year for E3 or this year, and mm-hmm. it's out. And I'm really excited about it to see where the story continues. And super boring. You know it's a good game when the protagonist is super boring, but you don't care because it's an interesting enough world that you buy in. So very excited to be playing that and get some more of my horror jams on.
All right. Oh, we didn't even talk about the the Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross cover of the Friday the 13th theme.
I've never heard of it. I don't know what you're talking about.
You should give it a listen.
Okay.
I mean, I enjoyed it. It was definitely like a nice take on the original theme.
We can talk about it before Geostorm.
We can.
Yes. I'll put it in my calendar.
Right before Geostorm.
Geostorm's taking up the whole day.
But I think that's going to do it for us. You can find us on Facebook at 3Wise Media. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at 3Wise Radio. You can email us at 3wiseradio@gmail.com. Shout out to our friends over at Beyond the Blast Doors, Movie Versus, This Film is Lit, and Good Bad or Bad Bad. That does it for us this week. We'll see you next week for our 100th episode and Geostorm.
3Wise Radio is a production of 3Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.